Guys say, oh, I'm going to go to the body on Mayweather. I'm going to hit him with the right hand. I'm going to hit him with the left hook. After 21 years, I've been hit with everything, and I'm still right here.
Well, here now. You should have left me where I was, because this man is not on my level. We're going to see him. They're all going to eat your words in there.
He's the best at what he do. I'm the best at what I do. The best fighting the best. But when it's all said and done, nobody is walking me down.
Welcome to Las Vegas. We're in Sin City, the fight capital of the world, inside the MGM Grand, the David Copperfield Theater. Of course, only this city could host the biggest fight in combat sports history. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Custer, alongside my Showtime boxing colleague. This is Steve Farhood, MMA analyst Brendan Schaub. And guys, yesterday we had the final press conference for Mayweather and McGregor. Today, it's the final press conference for the undercard of Mayweather and McGregor. By the way, this fight, which should be the biggest in combat sports history, will be the most widely accessible pay-per-view in history. You want to know more on how you can get it? All you've got to do is go to show.com for more information. So, guys, now it's the undercard, and what an undercard it is. You've got 3 fights under the main event, 2 of them world title fights featuring some of the big names in boxing, Steve. And you look at some of the matchups, you got some good fights in here.
No doubt. There's one in particular. You know, every big show has that one fight you look at ahead of time and you say, that could steal the show.
Yeah.
For this show, that fight is a light heavyweight world title fight between Nathan Cleverly from England, actually from Wales, and Badou Jack, who's a former world champion at 168 pounds. The styles of the fighters, the quality of the fighters, that should make for a fantastic fight that very well could steal the show.
Badou Jack is looking to become a 2-time world champion and fighting for the first time at light heavyweight. So it's going to be really interesting. And then you also look on, as you scour the undercard, you got Gervonta Davis, who sticks out because you look on this undercard, there are 3 names that come from that Mayweather Promotions stable. But Gervonta Davis is a name that a number of people look at and say, that young champion's got it.
He's the guy. He's the guy. And what a great opportunity for Gervonta Davis. On the biggest card of all time, he's kind of the showcase fighter. He really is. You know, at 130 pounds, he's a knockout artist. They call him the Tank for a reason. And I don't think he realizes, after seeing some of his interviews talking to him, I don't think he realizes how big of a deal this is. It's going to be a breakout fight for him, especially if he can land a knockout like he's known for doing. You're going to get a lot of new eyeballs on this kid. And Floyd, they're looking for the next predecessor to take over for the pay-per-view king. And it could be this kid. Even though he's 130 pounds, it could be him.
Well, he certainly has expressed that he wants to be boxing's new star. He is the youngest American world champion. So before we get into in-depth on the undercard and all of the fights, guys, let's take a step back to what we saw here in the final press conference for Mayweather and McGregor. A more subdued tone from Floyd and from Conor McGregor, considering what we saw in the build-up to this fight and on the press tour. More subdued. Let's start with Conor McGregor.
Yeah, you know, Conor, he out-lateness Floyd Mayweather. Like that's some,
and that takes time.
We got to draw. Yeah, that takes a lot of time. We got to draw the line somewhere.
Absolutely.
You got to be professional. Yeah. So even me, everyone knows I'm a big Conor supporter, but I was a little annoyed. We had to make up about 45 minutes an hour.
We had to do our work.
Yeah, we had to do some work. You earned your paycheck last night. Yeah, really did. Yeah.
Oh, they're paying you?
Yeah, what, you get paid?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's what we're doing is free.
News to me.
So, I thought Conor showing up late, it kind of drained the room of the energy. Granted, it was just the press, but the energy was a little low, and you can tell the fight's getting closer. The guys realize it's fight time. Everyone's very serious. I thought my takeaway from yesterday was Floyd, you can tell this is his last one. This last round, he was very cerebral and very sentimental, and he wanted to thank everyone in Showtime and Las Vegas and Espinoza and literally his family. He got choked up talking about his family, and it hit me for the first time being around Floyd Mayweather. He's all business. This is not a gimme fight. This is not just about the money. It is all business. And the biggest thing for me, too, is he goes, we know you can dish it, but can you take it? And then in the talent meetings, he mentioned something where I didn't even consider this. He goes, I don't know if he's going to make weight.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to make weight. And I don't, when he says that stuff, I think Conor's going to make weight. But when he says that stuff, he's just not making it up.
Yeah.
So, as a Conor supporter, I was like, oh. So it was the first time I put some doubt in my mind. I got to be honest.
Well, if you talk about tactics and gamesmanship, certainly both fighters have done it throughout the build up to this fight. And that was obviously Conor's intentions in this fight yesterday, especially coming late. I mean, it was well over a half hour, and Floyd Mayweather stood behind the curtain for 30 minutes before he came out because they were waiting on Conor.
He must have loved that, right?
Yeah, right? What did you take away when you heard from both these guys yesterday?
I mean, I totally agree with Brendan that the time had come for these guys to realize there's a fight here.
Yeah.
Mentally, you check in. And now it's not about salesmanship. But I thought that when McGregor came out first, and he spoke first, I thought it was interesting that his energy level wasn't as high. Nothing like we saw, obviously, in the press tour. And I think throughout the whole thing, these two have played off each other. And there was nothing to play off because McGregor was so mellow. So his energy, McGregor's energy and outlandishness and outrageousness and everything else is kind of what sold this fight to me. Floyd, he's been there. He's been in huge fights before. McGregor's never been in anything like this before. So when McGregor took a step back and maybe became a little bit more introspective, I'm not surprised that Floyd followed suit because he didn't have anything to work off of.
And it's such a salient point that you brought up because when you take away what Floyd said, he looked over at Conor McGregor and said, listen, Conor, it's not going to be easy for you Saturday. And you can do a lot of this, as he pointed out during the thing. He said, and listen, if you're going to dish it, you better believe you can take it as well because he says he's going to be throwing some blows.
Yeah, and he made some valid points where he goes, Canelo, Cotto, Ricky Hatton.
All big punchers.
I faced some big punchers,
all
my
big
man.
Punchers.
So I'm 49-0 for a reason. So if you think you're going to come in there and bully me, and he goes, remember, I can dish it too.
Yeah.
I can go. And I say this, and I truly believe this. When he's doing that Philly kind of shell, I don't think we're going to see a lot of that because it leaves him exposed to that straight left from Conor, which is the biggest weapon for Conor McGregor. If you are a Conor McGregor fan and you see Floyd with his hands up, with his guard up, marching forward, you should be a little the nerves should kick in because that means Floyd's coming to finish this fight.
Yeah. And another point, and you mentioned nerves, one of the reasons I thought this was such an interesting matchup from McGregor's standpoint is that when you get a mega event like this, it's not like anything you've ever, not for Floyd, Floyd's done it a million times, but for the opponent, it's like nothing they've ever done before. It was very clear to me very quickly that McGregor was eating up all the atmosphere. He was eating it all up. He's a champion. He's been in big fights. He's been in front of 20,000 seat arenas. The magnitude of the event was not going to slow him down or phase him in the least. If anything, it was going to pump him up. And I think actually in the first couple of rounds, he has to be careful that he's not too pumped up. It's going to be a McGregor crowd, we believe.
Right.
And while I think it benefits him to come out fast, he can't come out too fast and burn himself out.
Absolutely.
No, he can't.
Absolutely.
He does have to. You can't throw caution in the wind and charge Floyd Mayweather, even with 8-ounce gloves. Listen, we've heard it time after time. Floyd goes, I promise you this thing's not going to distance.
Right.
And yesterday in the fighter meetings, the talent meetings, he goes, I'm going to finish him. I promise you this isn't going 12 rounds. Both guys are saying this. So I don't think you're going to get a boring fight on your hands. I truly believe both guys are going to look to finish this fight.
Of course, it all comes your way. Showtime pay-per-view on Saturday. So let's get right into the undercard because as we talked about, 3 fights here, 2 of them world title fights. And let's start with the first fight. And you've got a former world champion cruiserweight in Steve USS Cunningham getting into the ring against another Mayweather fighter. and Tabiti. And it's a really interesting matchup because you have the former world champion who's 40-41 now, a ton of experiences, fought some of the biggest names, Tyson Fury, the Hawks, all those big type of names, and this young lion who feels like it's now my time. It's a great, stylistically, a good matchup.
It's a type of matchup that's been played out over and over again in boxing. It's a passing of the torch type fight. Steve Cunningham, 41 years old, two-time former cruiserweight champion. He's carried the cruiserweight division in America by himself for a lot of years. Now we have a Mayweather-promoted fighter in Tabiti who's trying to take that next step. He's fought on Showtime, on ShowBox a couple of times. He's won. But the fighters he fought, in terms of experience, don't compare to Steve Cunningham. The difference in experience here, if you look at the two records, Cunningham's fought like 10 world champions. He's fought hundreds of rounds. He fought 9 world title fights, and Tabiti's climbing the ladder. So it's all a question of, is this fight coming at the right time for Tabiti? Can he take the next step? If he wins this fight, he's all of a sudden a top 10 cruiserweight at a time, because of the big cruiserweight tournament that's happening in Europe. It's good to be a cruiserweight.
Absolutely.
And Cunningham also, not only did he fight Tyson Fury, he knocked him down.
Knocked him down.
Which is amazing.
Which is crazy at heavyweight.
And he always says that. He says, that's my claim to fame here. He said, hey, I got that good shot. I didn't win the fight, but at least I was the guy who,
heavyweight champ of the world, knocked him on his butt.
Knocked him down. So that's going to start the night. That will set the table. And then you have this second fight. And then this is a really interesting fight because you've got Badou Jack. Again, another former champion, but albeit at super middleweight, taking on Nathan Cleverly, who has the WBA title, although regular title. Andre Ward has the super title, of course. But it's a really good matchup because it's the first time for Badou Jack fighting at light heavyweight.
It's the first time, and I think he's going to make that adjustment well, Brian, because many, many years ago as an amateur, he fought at 178 pounds for a couple of years. So this is not new to him. He fought above the super middleweight limit quite a bit when he was just before he was champion. I think he'll carry the weight. I think he'll carry his power with him. But really what makes this an exciting fight for the fans is Cleverly. Because Cleverly is capable of throwing 100 punches around. He's been in his fight with Andrew Fonseca was amazing. Just more punches thrown in that fight than any light heavyweight fight in CompuBox recorded history. That's what we're talking about with Cleverly. If he takes that approach and fights as aggressively as he normally does, we're going to see a hell of a fight, and it will steal the show.
This is your fight of the night.
It's my fight of the night. I'm sticking with it, Brendan.
I'm sticking with it.
And the one thing you will take away with Badou Jack, I like to call him the silent assassin. By his demeanor by nature, very calm, very quiet guy. But when he gets in the ring, let me tell you something, phenomenal body puncher. And now you can see, I would say, when you talk about the highest level, probably the most improved fighter at the highest level I've seen, because it seems like every time we've seen Badou Jack, he gets better.
Better and better. And Badou Jack is a guy, we talk about the silent assassin, that's the scariest type of guy. I want to know where I'm at with the guy in the ring. If he's a character, if he's loud, I usually like that. But when they're just almost that serial killer straight looking through, that's the scariest guy to fight.
And that's his demeanor. He's never high, never too low. He's just straight right through the...
But the key is he's getting better every fight, and you can see it. And those body shots are something to watch.
We had him earlier this year against James DeGale, where he fought to a draw. And there are a number of people who thought Badou Jack won that, but it was a phenomenal fight. We had him with Lucien Bute. And listen, there people thought that was ruled as a draw, but there are a number of people thought that Badou Jack actually won that fight. And then Bute gets popped for steroids shortly after that fight. I mean, he's had some questionable decisions.
Every fight.
Every fight, it seems. But his performance is always good. So that will be the second fight of the night. And then the co-main event. And you've got, as you pointed out, probably the new star in boxing in Gervonta Tank Davis. 130 pounds of excitement, raw power.
He's a little Mike Tyson. To call him the Tank is almost a disservice. I mean, we should call him the highlight. This kid is so exciting to watch. He's out of Baltimore. He's an Under Armour athlete. And if you look at the athletes Under Armour has, you're talking about Anthony Joshua, Canelo, Cam Newton, Steph Curry. That's what kind of talent this kid is. They signed him early on. So, again, the youngest American champion at 22. This is probably going to be your highlight knockout of the night. Is that fair to say? And he's also the biggest favorite. If 6 months ago, if you went, hey, Floyd Mayweather's fighting Conor McGregor, but that's not going to be the biggest favorite on the card, you guys would have laughed at me.
For sure. No,
that's how talented this kid is.
He's in with Francisco Fonseca from Costa Rica via Nicaragua. It came late for Fonseca. He's undefeated. He fought to a draw in his first pro fight, but he's won, 19 fights since. So you can argue that you never know how good an undefeated fighter really is.
True.
But he's making a huge step up. And given Gervonta Davis's recent form, I mean, you want to see this guy. I mean, he very well could be. There's a little bit of a void created when Floyd Mayweather retires in terms of star power in boxing. This is a guy who very well could fill that void.
We're at the top of the hour. I'm Brian Custer. That's Steve Farhood. That's Brendan Schaub. This is the final press conference for the undercard of Mayweather versus McGregor. 3 fights under the main event that will come your way Saturday night. All of it begins at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern on Showtime pay-per-view. The beginning of the night, we will start off with a couple of cruiserweights and Steve Cunningham taking on Jason Tabiti. And then the second fight of the night is Badou Jack, a former world champion, making his first fight at light heavyweight as he steps into the ring against the WBA regular champion in Nathan Cleverly. And then the co-main is Gervonta Tank Davis, who is stepping into the ring against Francisco Fonseca. So that is the lineup here for the undercard. All of the fighters are here. They will step on the stage. You're going to hear from all the fighters. You'll hear from their camps as well as we get ready to wind things up till Saturday, because the weigh-in comes your way Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific, and that is 7 o'clock Eastern time. We were talking a little bit about Gervonta Davis, and, we had a fighter meeting with Gervonta Davis, and he said, listen, I understand there's a lot of things that have been written about me, and I want to be the new star of boxing. I want to be, as you pointed out, he said, the new pay-per-view king of boxing, but this is an opportunity for real boxing fans to see what I do on a national stage and even capture the attention of maybe the casual fan
and that's
bring
the big thing.
Bring them to the sport.
Yeah, because we know the boxing purists. They're going to watch Floyd Mayweather, but you have the MMA fan base looking too.
Right.
And what does MMA like? Finishes.
Yeah.
So if Gervonta Davis goes in there, we can't have it go to decision. Right. If he gets a highlight knockout, people are going to remember that kid from this fight. So it's such a huge opportunity for him. And he has the capabilities and the talent to get it done. He really does. You know what I want to see? This would be hilarious. It's a bunch of Floyd Mayweather fighters. If they go undefeated, Floyd grabs the mic and goes, "We're not here to take part. We're here to take over."
Talking like a true UFC guy. MMA,
That's what I'm trying to get out of him.
Strictly MMA.
Steal a Conor McGregor line.
Absolutely. And, listen, here's the one thing about Tank Davis. The interesting thing about Fonseca is this is a guy, as Steve pointed out, originally from Nicaragua, now via Costa Rica, but man of faith. And a man who's hungry. I mean, he needs the money.
Sure.
And he said, listen, I'm coming here for a reason. You may not know me, but you will know me after Saturday.
Did he milk 50 cows before going to practice?
Yes, and drove a bus 2 hours to get to the gym.
It's hard to bet against that guy. Milk 50 cows? Have you ever tried milking 1 cow and then go box? It's not for me. It's not for me. Yeah, strong hands. Good cardio.
But a quick point about Davis. This is a trap fight for him.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
He's not – I don't want to say he's taking him light. We don't know that he is. But it would be very easy to take Francisco Fonseca light. Right. And Davis wants to be a big star. The way you become a big star is not only with your personality, but by fighting big fights. You have to fight big fights. Gervonta Davis's big fights are ahead of him, whether they're with Linares or Lomachenko or whoever it is. That's ahead of him. But all it takes is a little stumble, and all of a sudden those big fights are gone.
It's gone.
And that's what he's got to guard against.
Do you think after this fight, and eventually he's going to have to move up in weight to become that pay-per-view king?
He said, listen, he even told us in the fighter meeting, he didn't see himself at 130 very long. In fact, he said, I see myself moving up at 135 very soon.
Because look at Lomachenko. Lomachenko's a guy, people have him pound for pound #1, but he's still not he's not pay-per-view king.
Right.
You usually got to go up and get those correct matchups to become that big pay-per-view star.
Absolutely.
To your point.
Absolutely. Well, as we get ready here to begin this press conference, you can around the town, you can see that we're getting closer to fight time. You start seeing a lot of people coming in from out of the country here, all in anticipation of Mayweather versus McGregor. All of the fighters are here, so with that, let's begin. It is the final press conference of the undercard of Mayweather versus McGregor.
Hello, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. This Saturday night, August 26th, will undoubtedly mark its way into the history. We have a fantastic undercard this Saturday night. I can't say enough how proud Mayweather Promotions is to put together a phenomenal undercard. Not only is this will be a historical matchup between two of the top fighters in their respective sports in Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, we also have a very exciting undercard. This event between Mayweather and McGregor will captivate viewers all over the globe. Fight fans from all across the world demanded this fight, and that's why we're bringing it to you. Viewers can expect nothing but hard-hitting action from every single fighter up here. I'm very proud to be up here on this stage with all these great young fighters. Our event is promoted by Mayweather Promotions, sponsored by Corona, and our event will be shown live by SHOWTIME PPV. So, without further ado, this next gentleman I'm gonna bring up to the stage, he's a very, very exciting young fighter. This will be his second appearance on a Floyd Mayweather pay-per-view card. He comes to us from Mayweather Promotions with a 7-0 record, none other than Kevin Newman.
First off, I want to thank God for this opportunity. Mayweather Promotions, Floyd Mayweather, Leonard Ellaby, Juan Blake. I'm just happy to be here. I'm in a very blessed position. I can't wait to go out there Saturday night, and put on a dominant performance. I'm fighting a solid guy, but I plan on going out there and from round one, just taking advantage of him, and starting off strong, putting on a great performance for everybody in attendance. So, I want to thank you all for coming out, and I appreciate everything.
At the young age of 19, this fighter has made a lot of noise in the sport with all his tremendous knockout power. Very, very exciting young fighter. This Saturday night will be a true test of his talent in the ring. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Jose Miguel Borrego.
Primero que nada, muchas gracias. Gracias a Dios por esta oportunidad que se me ha presentado. Y pues muy contento y emocionado por estar en esta gran cartelera junto a grandes peleadores. Y pues el sábado van a ver de lo que estoy hecho y vamos a salir con la victoria. Muchas gracias.
He's very excited to fight on this card. It's a great opportunity for him, and he's excited to show the audience in the world what he has, what it takes to win.
He'll be fighting a very exciting fighter under the Mayweather Promotions banner, a young man who I always look forward to watching fight. He always puts on a terrific fight. He comes and every fight that he's in is always exciting. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Juan Morales.
I want to thank everybody that's here. Thank Mayweather Promotions, Juan Blake, my parents, my coaches, thank God. And I'm here to put on a boxing clinic and show everybody what I can do. And tune in. I think it's going to be a good fight. He's going to take him out. Thank you, guys.
This next fighter, he's a top welterweight contender. He's a bronze medalist who competed in 2008 Olympics, and he represented his home country of Cuba. At this time, I'd like to call up none other than Yordanis Ugas.
Ante todo, gracias a Dios por la oportunidad. Me siento bendecido de estar en un evento tan histórico como este, en una pelea de calidad. Y el sábado pienso hacer una pelea explosiva Gracias a todos.
The time has come for this great opportunity, and I'm going to give all I have.
You guys, he'll be fighting another Mayweather Promotions fighter. He's a young veteran, I call him. He's fought some tough competitors. This will be his second fight with Mayweather Promotions. He's also a very exciting fighter. We know that this is going to be a very, very exciting bout. You have two young guys who are looking to knock each other out, and that always makes for an exciting fight. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Thomas Delorme.
Hi, everybody. I said thank you, guys. Thank you, Mayweather Promotion. Thank you, Let It Be. You know, I'm so happy to have the big fight Saturday night. I'm ready for the fight. I'm ready to push the real show in the ring on Saturday night. Thank you so much, everybody here.
So now we get to the exciting televised portion of our pay-per-view card this Saturday night. This next young man, he's a native of Philly, a guy who I truly, truly have a great deal of respect for, a guy I've been watching for a very long time. He's one of the most, he's a very tough veteran, as I would call it. He's been in a lot of fights, and some of the fights have not went his way, and as I would call it, is bad judging. He's never in a dull fight, and he always comes to give his best. So without further ado, I'd like to give a big round of applause for none other than Steve Cunningham.
How you doing? Good afternoon. I'd like to thank the Most High Yahuwah Bashem Yahusha for the opportunity, because all opportunities only come through him. This is a big card, the biggest, and it's exciting to be on this card. Motivation in itself. Fighting a good young fighter. I don't have too much to say because I love to talk in the ring. That's it. So no matter the age, no matter the place, no matter where, I'm going to bring it. And that's what I do. That's all I know to do, you know, and bring it to win. So Saturday night is on.
Thank you, Steve. Steve will be taking on Mayweather Promotions. I think he's definitely one of our most exciting fighters. Every time he steps in the ring, he's knocking guys out. He's trained by none other than Floyd Mayweather Sr. He's a very, very exciting fighter. This fight right here, both guys will be looking to steal the show. Trust me on that. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Andrew Tabiti.
I just want to say thank y'all for all coming out here, and I'm just very grateful for this opportunity. And you know, I'm fighting Steve Cunningham, and this guy, he gets my respect. He fought all the top guys, but you know, hey, it's my time to show a new face for the American Cruiserweight. It's my time. You know, and I'm not here to take no L's. You know, so I'm raising my hand up, and you know, just want to thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank Leonard Ellaby, Mayweather Promotions, also Juan Blake for pushing me to be on this show, and I want to thank all you guys for being here because, hey, you know, I work hard for it. Thank you.
This next fighter, he's another Mayweather Promotions fighter. He'll be making, just recently in his last fight, he relinquished the 168-pound world title to make the jump to the light heavyweight division. So he came to me and he says, well, actually me and Floyd, and he says he wanted the opportunity to fight for the world title at light heavyweight. So he is getting what he asked for. And ladies and gentlemen, to me, I think that this is going to be a very, very tough fight, but I expect a knockout in the end. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up none other than Mayweather Promotions' own Badou Jack.
First off, I want to thank God. I want to thank Floyd and Leonard, Team Jack, my coach Lou DeVal, Larry Wade, Arash, Mike, everybody. Yeah, I asked for the big fight, and he gave it to me. So, gonna be a two division world champion come Saturday. I got a tough guy in front of me, very tough guy, but tough ain't enough. And he said that, welcome to the light heavyweight division, I'm too big and strong. Okay, listen, I'm almost 34 years old. When you was a teenager, I moved up to light heavyweight in the amateurs, so I've been fighting big guys my whole life, so I'm just excited. I'm gonna bring home the title to Vegas. Thank you.
Badou will be taking on the WBA light heavyweight champion, and he comes to us from England. He's represented by Matchroom Boxing, who, in my eyes, have done a phenomenal job thus far with his career. He's fought some very, very tough competitors thus far, and come Saturday night, he'll be looking to defend his title and come away with a win. So, ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause for none other than Nathan Cleverly.
Hello, Las Vegas. It's great to be here. It's my favorite city on the planet. It's great to be here, part of this major event. You know, it's a history-making event, and I'm grateful to be part of it in a big fight. Myself and Badou Jack, in its own terms, in its own regards, it's a big fight. But to be part of this major event is massive. You know, on a personal level, it's a special occasion for me. Badou's a tough fighter. You know, undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, a good resume, tough top fighter, you know, a solid fighter, consistent at the top level. He's fighting a two-time light heavyweight champion of the world. This is my 8th world title fight. I'm experienced, I'm ready. This is going to be a great fight, and it could be fight of the night on the undercard. So tune in and get ready for some fireworks. It's going to be great. Thank you, guys. See you Saturday night.
In the co-main event, which we know is this fight, in my eyes, is definitely going to end in a knockout. In making his national debut, this 23-year-old super featherweight out of Costa Rica, he's 19-0 with 13 knockouts. Join me and welcome undefeated fighter Francisco Fonseca.
Buenas tardes a todos. Primero que todo, agradecer a Dios por estar aquí, a mi equipo de trabajo, a Mayweather Promotion por la oportunidad. Estoy aquí con el hambre de ser campeón. Espero que Davis esté preparado, porque vengo preparado para ser campeón y obviamente dar una gran pelea para que la gente salga contenta de haber pagado su boleto, y por supuesto espero en Dios salir con el título en mi cintura. Y más nada, muchas gracias, y agradezco al equipo de trabajo, a Iván Calderón, a Juan Morales, que está presente, a mi entrenador que no pudo venir, pero vengo con todo, y agradecer la oportunidad a Davis también por la oportunidad de disputar el título.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank, first of all, God, and I want to thank my team for their help. I'm prepared for this fight, and I'm ready to give the fans what they're looking for. This is going to be the fight to see, and yeah, it's going to be a great pay-per-view fight. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and be ready.
There aren't enough accolades to describe this next fighter. He's definitely made a force in boxing thus far. In January, he won his first world title in a very tough, very exciting fight against Jose Pedraza in New York. And in my eyes, he's the most exciting fighter in all of boxing. And I repeat, he's the most exciting fighter in all of boxing. Come Saturday night, he will definitely be looking to put on a spectacular performance. He's definitely echoed that to myself and Floyd. He's looking to steal the show. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, from Baltimore, Maryland, let's get a big round of applause for none other than Gervonta Tank Davis.
Thank y'all for coming out. First off, I want to say thank God for this opportunity. Mayweather Promotion, Al Heyman, my team, my opponent, team, and him for taking the fight at a late notice. Saturday night, a great performance from me, ready to take over the sport as Floyd Mayweather Jr. passed me the torch. Camp been great. Hopefully his camp been great, so we can put on a great fight for the fans. It's definitely important to me to put on a great fight for the fans, to give them the confidence to say that, you know, as a new star in the sport, and happy to be, you know, a part of my career. You know, also the media, the fight media. I want to thank y'all for the good or the bad y'all write about me, you know. But Saturday night, I'm here to put on a great show, get the fans what they looking for, get the media what they looking for. I'm definitely excited. My team excited. We put in hard work all the way up to this point, and hopefully Saturday night he be ready. I definitely be ready. Boxing media and the fans, make sure y'all tune in. It's gonna be a great, epic fight. Thank you.
To all the fans out there, if you haven't placed your order for the pay-per-view event this Saturday, please order now. We expect a heavy, heavy demand for this fight come Saturday night, and in order to avoid delays, please order now. This concludes the press conference. We're going to post the fighters now.
And then you guys can come up through here so you don't.
Well, there you have it. The press conference is now over. They'll pose some of the fighters. You see Gervonta Tank Davis and Francisco Fonseca there as they face off and take a few shots there for the media. And How about Mayweather Promotions talking about this one will end in a knockout?
A lot of pressure on the kid.
I think Mr. Fonseca may have a little something to say about that.
Fonseca, I don't know if he knows what's going on.
Think about it. From Fonseca's, he's never fought in the U.S. before.
Yeah.
And this is the card he makes his U.S. debut on.
And you give me Gervonta Tank Davis.
You know what? Better than milking 50 cows a day.
That's right. How about this here? You got Badou Jack and Nathan Cleverly. Again, Cleverly, the WBA regular world champion. And facing Badou Jack, and let me tell you something, that's the most spirited I've heard Badou Jack in quite some time here. He's saying, listen, I was fighting that light heavy.
Yeah.
You were a team.
Yeah, emotions are high in this one. You can tell there's a lot on the line in this fight. And these guys are dead serious. You know, very similar to Conor and Floyd yesterday. It's showtime, man. It's game time for these guys.
And I give Badou a lot of credit. This is going to be his debut fight at 175, at least as a pro. And he's going right into a title fight. You know, and let's not forget, too, that Andre Ward has made overtures about maybe moving up in weight.
Mm-hmm.
If Badou Jack wins and then wins impressively here, he give Andre Ward another option.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which they definitely need at that weight.
Yeah.
And he's talked about, not even only facing Andre Ward, but he said Adonis Stevenson. And so there's some opportunities there. And then here we go. This one will begin the night on the pay-per-view show. Andrew Tabiti. You see them here there on the left. He's part of the Mayweather stable, taking on former champion, cruiserweight champion, Steve U.S.S. Cunningham, former two-time world champion. And interesting fight here.
Very interesting. If Tabiti is taking it for granted that he's going to walk through Cunningham because Cunningham's 41 years old, big mistake.
It's a lot for Tabiti to take on,
It
too.
is,
Like
yeah.
you were saying, it's the young lion versus, the older vet. But, man, it's a tough test to pass. It really is.
I'll say one thing. Steve Cunningham certainly trained for this fight. If that's 41.
Yeah, sign me up. I can't wait to get 41 if we're all going to look like
Steve,
that.
I didn't look like that at 41.
It's like a comic book superhero.
And it's so funny. That's what he's an artist. He draws comic books.
Oh, does he?
Yes, he does. He
Brett
does.
models him after himself. That guy's jacked.
So that is the fight that will start the night as all the fighters there. Gervonta Davis, Badou Jack, Andrew Tabiti, and there's Fonseca and Nathan Cleverly, champion, and then Steve Cunningham. All of that coming your way August 26th. It's Saturday, Showtime pay-per-view, the most widely distributed pay-per-view in history. For more details and more information, go to show.com on how you can get it. Now, we're going to speak to a couple of the fighters, and especially some of the feature fighters here from the undercard. We're going to start with a world champion, the IBF 130-pound champion, Gervonta Tank Davis. He's the co-main feature. You will see him in the ring against Francisco Fonseca, and he's joining us and talk about his big fight. And here is Tank, all smiles. All right, Tank. So thanks first of all for joining us. It's an interesting position for you because you've talked about I want to be the new star of boxing.
Yes.
And you've had some spectacular performances. This is interesting because you can not only continue to draw in the boxing fan, but then the casual fan who will just be watching this will say, hey, wait a minute. I think I like that guy, and I think I may start watching this sport all over again.
Yes. I'm definitely excited to be on the card, and hopefully fight night, I put on a great performance, which I'm working towards, and hopefully that I can take from Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor fans, and they become my fans, so I'm in a great position, I believe as a young fighter, on such big card, and Saturday night I want to take advantage.
Do you feel any pressure to get a knockout? Because we hear it here. Oh, he's going to get the knockout. We hear it everywhere. And Floyd's saying the next big thing. Do you listen to that? Is it a lot of pressure, especially only being 22? The next pay-per-view king, the knockout artist, the 22-year-old Mike Tyson, 130 pounds.
Yeah.
There's a lot of expectations there. Does it get to you, or you don't listen to it?
I don't think it's pressure on me. Bad pressure. I want to say. It's no pressure on me to get the knockout, just in a top fashion, doing it in great style. It's
it's more that than getting a knockout. I believe if I show that I have the skills that you know the become that next star in the sport, then it's better than showing a fast knockout. You know, it just showing the people that I do have skills. I am a top fighter. I'm an elite fighter. Not yet, but on that path. You know, so I'm definitely ready to put on a great show.
I'm sure somewhere Jose Pedraza and Liam Walsh are saying, yeah, he's got skills.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. Packs a punch.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
Gervonta, what I'd like to ask is, you're 22. We already have established that there are possibly great things in your future, great big fights. Well, this is a small step. This isn't one of the biggest fights you're ever going to have.
Yes.
How do you stay focused against the guy everybody tells you should be knocking out?
I believe, again, I'm fighting on a great show. You know, I want to be able to put on a great performance. You know, I know that Floyd Mayweather and Conor, you know, they're going to try to do their best. You know, they're going to do their best Saturday night. And I want to be able to, you know, my performance stand as well as can be next to theirs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the most part, you know, just trying to have a great performance Saturday night. That's my motivation.
Any predictions on the main event? Obviously, your guy Floyd's fighting. He's fighting an unknown boxing guy, and Conor McGregor.
What do you think's gonna happen?
You can be biased. I'm biased. Hey, man, I try not to be biased, but I am.
I think it's gonna be a great fight. You know, I believe that Floyd Mayweather will knock him out.
You think so?
Yeah, less than 6 rounds.
Wow.
Who gets a quicker knockout? You or Floyd?
Probably him.
No, wow.
Yeah, probably him.
Take the pressure off yourself. My man, you're learning. You're learning.
It's a good prop bet.
Yeah, exactly. That's Gervonta Davis, champ. We appreciate the time.
Thank y'all.
Good luck to you Saturday night.
Good luck,
Appreciate it.
Gervonta.
I tell you, there's a lot of excitement with this young guy, and you know he's got so much talent. You know, he's got so much talent. It's one of those things where you watch Gervonta Davis. He's got the power. He's got the skill. It's one of those things where you look at and you can say, yeah, if he continues along that path, this is a young kid who can not only become a new star of boxing, but without doubt, be that pay-per-view star that Mayweather Promotions and, of course, that he's looking for because of the skill and because of the skill set that he has.
And boxing needs that.
And he's grounded. And that's the thing about it, because a lot of time when you're 22, a lot of things come to you early. Yeah. It's how do you weed through the distractions? You all of a sudden get these new friends. Do you still train as hard? Right now, he is still grounded and fighting in West Baltimore in the same gym, same trainer, all of that type of stuff. And that's what you like to see out of a young champion.
I agree. There's a lot of pressure on him, but it doesn't seem like it's getting to him. You know, he knows there's a lot of high expectations, but he's just doing what he can do. He's doing his job, and he's landing these knockouts. Now, when we say this isn't his toughest fight, it's not, but it's by far the biggest stage that he's ever been on. It's going to be tough to beat this.
And joining us now when we talk about that Mayweather stable is a guy who, wow, you want to talk about talented fighter. This guy here, Badou Jack, former super middleweight champion, now making his debut at light heavyweight and fighting for a world title. Thanks for the time. And, you know, listen, I liked what you said up there. I said, that's the most animated I've seen Badou Jack in quite a while.
All business.
Yeah, he said, look, I know you said, I'm going to welcome you to the light heavyweight division. But you, as you pointed out, you fought in the amateurs at light heavyweight. So you've been fighting there for quite some time before you became a pro.
Yeah, amateur is a little different, but I think he's 30. I'm about to be 34 next month. And in 2006, I moved up to 178 light heavyweight. When he was a teenager, when he was
he didn't do his homework, it sounds like.
Nah.
He didn't do his homework. He didn't look into it.
So, I'm just excited about the fight to become a two-division world champion.
Let me ask you this before you get into that, Brendan. What changed in Badou Jack? Because I remember seeing you on Showbox some years, and you have this defeat, and that could have crippled someone's career.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you were a changed fighter from that loss and just skyrocketed. And I think a testament to you and your character, at an elite level, you always improve with every fight.
Yeah.
What changed in Badou Jack?
We added, or I brought in my old trainer, Lou DeVal, former light heavyweight champion. And, yeah, he made me use my range more, worked on defense, worked on small stuff, the basics, you know, good fundamentals. So he he's the main reason for my improvement. But also the loss, that was an accident. I lost to a journeyman. Anybody can get caught cold, you know. Let me fight him again and see what happens.
I don't think he's begging for that rematch, though. Yeah,
I don't know, but yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, go ahead.
For you, obviously, it's a huge main stage, and a lot of experts, including our man over here, are saying it's going to be fight of the night.
Yeah.
Do you feel any expectations to deliver? Because you got Conor, Floyd, you got Gervonta Davis, and to stick out, it's going to take one hell of a performance.
I mean, it's the best fight on paper on the undercard. I mean, on the whole card.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. He's a tough guy, and I think our styles, he coming to fight. He's not going to run.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I'm not saying DeGale was running in the fight meeting before. He moves a lot, so I forced him to fight. You know, this guy,
volume puncher.
Yeah, he's gonna be there to fight, and too bad for him. But, I'm very excited, and I can't wait to put up on a good performance come fight night.
Badou, because you fight for Mayweather, there are going to be opportunities. It's a good place to be because you know that you're going to have opportunities. What was your thinking in taking your first fight at 175 for a world title? Because you could have fought a couple of tune-ups, get more used to the weight, more used to camp when you're making 175. What was the thinking to take on a champion in your first fight at this weight?
I mean, I want the big fights. I'm almost 34. Why would I, from a unification fight, why would I go backwards? I'm already a unified world champion, even though they didn't give me the belt. They call it a draw. Why wouldn't I fight for the world title? And to be honest, I think DeGale is probably a better fighter than Cleverly. But styles make fights, and you never know. He's a bigger guy, so I'm not overlooking him. I respect him. He's a good champion, but I got what it takes to beat him.
We just asked Gervonta the same thing. Tell us, what do you think is going to happen in the main event? How do you see that thing playing out?
It's two different sports. It's different levels. Floyd is the best fighter of all times, and all the great fighters that he beat, nobody can land a big shot or at least hurt him or win. So I mean, how is Conor gonna land something? He's good at what he does at MMA, but this is boxing.
Yeah.
If Conor does land something, are you going to go back to the gym, maybe change up your stance, maybe start doing some karate?
Maybe.
We're going to see boxers just doing the Bruce Lee stance from now on.
You never know, but
oh boy,
you
that's all I could say.
You can't knock Conor. He's making a lot of money.
Yeah.
He's fighting the best fight in the world on a big stage.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, best of luck to you Saturday.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Luck, man.
It is good to see you again, see you back in the ring, and as we said, a testament to you. You seem to get better every fight. Best of luck to you on Saturday.
Good luck, Badou.
Looking forward to it,
Jack.
man.
Thank you.
Of course, you can see everything, and it comes your way August 26th, Saturday on Showtime pay-per-view, the most widely distributed pay-per-view in history. You can go to our website at show.com to find out more information. The only thing is left before the fight is the weigh-in, and you can see all of these guys on the undercard, and you can see the main event fighters, Mayweather and McGregor, weigh in, and it comes your way right here on show.com. You can see it obviously on Showtime at 3 o'clock Pacific time, and that is 6 p.m. Eastern. Mayweather and McGregor weigh in. You can see it right here on show.com. You can see it obviously on Showtime. Trust me, we're going to be streaming the thing everywhere.
You're going to see it.
You're going to see it.
see this.
You don't want to miss that. So for Steve Farhood, for Brendan Schaub, I'm Brian Custer. Thanks for watching.